Will the Dallas Stars be able to turn things around tonight against the Vancouver Canucks with a chance to clinch home ice advantage in the first round? We have lineup updates, we have a game preview, and we have Shooting Star next.
Your Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. The Dallas Stars return home tonight to take on the Vancouver Canucks and a chance to clinch home ice advantage in the first round with a win in any fashion. They will more than likely not track down the Winnipeg Jets, but their consolation prize could be second place and home ice advantage against the Colorado Avalanche. We'll preview tonight's game. We do have some lineup updates we have to get to, and we'll play Shooting Star on this Tuesday edition of Locked On Stars, brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. We begin with an update on Tyler Seguin. Dallas Stars forward is, quote, really close. He's not full contact yet, but he is getting really close per Pete DeBoer. So we could see Tyler Seguin work back into the lineup before the end of the regular season. Unfortunately, a lot of our questions with the Dallas Stars currently come on the blue line. When is Miro Heiskanen going to return, if at any point in the postseason? Of course, he is unlikely to return in the first round, which is a bit of a gut punch, but that's where a lot of the questions lie. And I know there is a lot of criticism at GM Jim Nill for not going out and addressing the blue line issues. And they did bring in Cody Ceci, and a lot of his numbers do not look good. But as I've stated before, they're having to play him in these high leverage situations, which we know he's not good in. And this sort of circles back to the same concerns and questions we had about Matt Dumba and Ilya Lyubushkin at points during the season or in the offseason. This is what they are. And unfortunately, they were not going to thrive in this situation where they're having to play top 4 minutes currently. So we'll see how it all plays out, but it will still be nice to get Tyler Seguin back in the lineup at some point, just to get his feet wet. It's another weapon to have. So he is fully close, not full contact, but that's the latest update on Tyler Seguin. Now, some lineup updates tonight. Casey DeSmith will get the start in goal for Dallas. No changes on defense. There is a game time decision up front. There was no details offered. This comes from Owen Newkirk, our good buddy over at DLS Stars. I would suspect there's probably another game time decision on Jamie Benn. I'm trying to recall if anything came out of that game in Minnesota. I know Oscar Beck took that puck up high, but I believe he returned along with Rope Hens. My goodness, how many more pucks can they continue to take to the face? Or maybe it's just a game time decision. Could be somebody sick. Maybe it's whether to play Bork or Blackwell, right? Maybe that's the game time decision. Maybe nobody's hurt. But Jamie Benn did miss 2 games heading into that game in Minnesota. Thought he had a great return. He had some energy in his legs, which was nice to see. And they're going to need more than that. And I hope Jamie Benn and some of the leadership starts to lead by example or starts ramping up their play, because the Stars are in a rut right now and they have to figure out a way to turn things around. And I was really negative the other day, I think for good reason, and I could be very negative tomorrow too. But again, we're still not in the dance yet. They have an opportunity here in the final week and a half to try to turn things around and get some things back on track. I don't think this team is as bad as they are playing, but they're still going to have issues, and they can be exposed by really good teams. But as I stated the other day, this is just who they are right now. And unfortunately, they're probably going to have to win a lot of games when they get outshot or they get outchanced, because they're going to have to get great goaltending. And it's not sustainable, and it's not a way to win a Stanley Cup. But at this point, it's hold on for dear life. Hopefully you get past the first round and you get Miro Heiskanen back and you go from there. And he may not even be enough. That's the real reality check for Dallas. I don't know if number 4 can clean everything up. He'll clean up a lot. I think we'd be surprised how much better the Stars will look. I think Nils Lundkvist hurts. Not having him, just a defenseman that can move the puck. Dallas does not have one outside of Thomas Harley. And really, I would even throw Bischel into that category a bit, of someone that can at least take pressure and make plays out of their own zone. But when it comes to entries, exits, Stars just really don't have anybody besides Harley. And even Nils Lundkvist hurts. Who would have thought he would be a massive loss this season? Just another right shot that has some mobility. And I think we would have seen him really grow in this situation. That's what kind of stinks about his injury, because we've seen Harley grow. I think Nils Lundkvist would have been a perfect proponent of somebody stepping up or elevating their play in the absence of Miro Heiskanen too. He'd probably get some opportunities to power play that second or quarterback the second power play unit, maybe instead of Dumba. He would have an expanded role, and it stinks that they lost him to a season-ending injury. So there are just a lot of negatives with this blue line, and I think Dallas they have to win games a certain way where they score on some of their limited opportunities. They may get outshot, they may get outplayed. And again, I'm not saying this is a recipe for success, because it isn't, but it's been happening the last 3 weeks now, almost a month. They do not have the ability to get out of their own way at points, taking too many penalties. They do not have the ability to break out of their own zone cleanly and consistently enough. They have trouble exiting. When they get to the other end of the rink, that's not a huge question. They have so much talent. Like, they can score goals. It's from the red line in to their own defensive zone where there's just a lot of issues that they don't seem to have figured out. Like, they want to play this run and gun type of style. They just don't have the personnel to do that. They don't have the personnel to hold on to pucks consistently, because they give the puck away way too much, especially in their own zone, and they just feed opponents. They feed opponents. And it's going to be a good test no matter who it is at this point. We saw it against Minnesota without Erickson and Kaprizov, 2 of the 3 best players. Didn't matter. Minnesota looked better. Pittsburgh, not in the playoff hunt, still a decent team. Dallas, again, didn't look like the better team in that game. And they haven't looked like the better team in quite a few of their games recently. Seattle, one of the 2 games against Seattle, you can maybe argue 2. I can see that they were the better team. Nashville wasn't very good, to say the least. And I'm trying to think about that game. Yeah, Otter was great. I mean, obviously, I think he was fantastic. But really, outside of that, it's just a lot of games where they were grinding. They were absolutely grinding. And it's going to be that way down the stretch, which is unfortunate. It's a nice little homestand here. You got Vancouver, Winnipeg, Utah to in your home season. So maybe you can build something here at home. And you got a couple of softies on the road to end the season, Detroit and Nashville. So there's still time to try to get something positive, because I don't imagine the dressing room or Pete DeBoer is thrilled with what they're putting out on tape and what they're putting out on a daily basis. And some of it, in my opinion, is just straight up intensity. It's something they can control. They just seem to be outworked at points. And maybe there's fatigue because some have been playing a lot of minutes with the Rantanen addition and just the injuries. Maybe it's a toll. Not that anybody cares, but sometimes maybe they're just exhausted. And we're seeing Rantanen be double shifted a bit. He's been playing with Steele and Bork, which I do like because Rantanen, when he was in Colorado, played, I think, about 21 minutes a night, sort of where he lived. And so far in Dallas, he's been playing about 19 and a half is average time on ice. I can get you the exact number. It's 1855. And if we go back to his time in Colorado, let's just go to the last few seasons. 22 minutes and, about 23 minutes a night he was playing. And Pete DeBoer has loaded him up a bit on that fourth line, just double shift him a bit more. And I think that's good if he can handle it. Obviously, he can play him a bit more. I know they want to play four lines and six defensemen. That's how Pete DeBoer likes to play. But I think you may have to ride your big dogs a bit. Like, let's play a little Colorado-esque. Let's ride the big dogs. Because at this point, you're going to have to live and die by your superstars. They can't just play four lines, especially if they're not going and just take on water constantly. You're going to have to get some more minutes for Rope and Robo a bit. Give them the ball, so to speak. Let them hold the rock, and let your superstars be superstars, because you may have to out superstar the Avalanche in the first round. You may need that without Miro Heiskanen. But those are some lineup updates for tonight. Game time decision up front. There is no details. Casey DeSmith gets a start. No changes on the blue line. Tyler Seguin, close. No full contact yet, but really close. Let's preview the Canucks in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all the accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When you start using Monarch, you realize how much spending you could be using on food delivery. You want to budget smarter, save more, all that online shopping. It's the all-in-one convenience of Monarch Money that I want to sell to you. Juggling multiple apps, and use Monarch to check your finances instead of using a bunch of different ones. You can track your spending, even plan your long-term goals. It's easy. Manage your money with a partner even. It's smoother than ever. Track your shared and personal accounts. You can set goals, stay on the same page without any of the stress. That's really the key here with Monarch Money. No stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. The Stars and Canucks have played a few exciting games already this season. Dallas has won both games against the Canucks, who come in fifth in the South Division, or Pacific Division, tonight. I said South. It's a habit from calling ice race games, not the South Division. It'd be pretty cool if there was a South Division, actually, in the NHL, wouldn't it? You got the Stars. You can throw in the Tampas. Maybe it wouldn't be great for Dallas. Nashville even. That would be kind of exciting. But anyways, Canucks are 35, 29, and 13. They're fifth in the Pacific. They are pretty much out of playoff contention. They haven't been eliminated yet, but I imagine they're rather close to being eliminated. They have 83 points. Minnesota has 91 with 4 games left. Vancouver has 5. I could suspect they could actually potentially be eliminated tonight with the loss, but they're still pouring every ounce into this thing. They missed Elias Pettersson the last few games. Höglander wasn't warming up against the Golden Knights the other night in a 3-2 loss to Vegas. So they've ran into some injuries. They obviously have players like Quinn Hughes who are spectacular. Brock Besser is having an okay season, but he's regressed. His next point will be his 50th point of the season. A lot of their players have regressed. Pettersson, 45 points. Garland, who's having a decent year, really, he's the guy that gives Dallas a lot of problems. Whenever the Stars play Vancouver, it seems like Garland and Dakota Joshua always give them a lot of fits. They've had to shuffle up some of their lines up front with Garland, Bluger, DeBrusk as a line. Suter's their top line center right now, alongside Besser and Höglander, who have had some success against Dallas in the past. Back in March, early March, the Stars, almost exactly a month ago, beat the Canucks 4-1 on the road, which they've had some horrors in that building, and they beat Vancouver earlier in the year 5-3. Canucks are 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. Their power play and penalty kill is actually pretty good. They rank in the top 15 in both. Power play is 22%. Penalty kills 83, which is third, just behind Dallas. So their special teams are good. Demko's come back recently. He's had a whole lot of injuries this year. He's just made 22 starts. He's 983, 891 save percentage, and 2.86 goals against. They don't score a ton right now, and they give up a decent amount, just north of 3 goals per game. DeSmith will get the start tonight, and DeSmith's been excellent in that 4-1 win. I think DeSmith started in that, if I'm not mistaken, and was phenomenal. I'll have to check the box score in that one. I don't. Yeah, he did. He stopped 22 of 23, so he wasn't very busy, but still a good night. It was a pretty low shot total game. There was just over 40 shots combined, just over. So there wasn't a ton. And that's when Mikko scored the empty netter in that one. For some reason, I don't remember Mikko being in that game, but it wasn't that long ago. Just been a long month watching the Stars. It's been a long month. But otherwise, it's a team that's still fighting for jobs. You know, Rick Tocchet, their head coach, is not going to let them just slouch their way in. So, a lot of important games the rest of the way for Dallas. And at this point, it doesn't matter who they play. They have to turn some things around. And Dallas needs to find some success wherever that is at this point. Another update, Tyler Myers missed Sunday against Vegas, so they got quite a few injuries. Kevin Lankinen may get the start tonight for Vancouver. He's been sort of their number one this year. He started in 46 games, having a decent season, 899 save percentage and 2.67 goals against average. We do have the line combinations for Dallas today. It's going to be Robo, Hance, Rampton in your top line, Marchment, Duchesne, Granlund. So that's staying the same up front. Johnston, Ben, Bork. So Bork's back up with Johnston, and Dodonov is on that fourth line with Steele and Blackwell. Beck and Seguin are your Beck and Seguin are your odd man out, but we know Sagan's not returning. So looks like Blackwell could be back in. You got your pairings: Lindell, Ceci, Harley, Labushkin, Bishel, Dumba. That Lindell Ceci pairing has not been great. I mentioned that because we all love Esa Lindell. He's been phenomenal, but him and Ceci have just not been a match made in heaven, to say the least. It sort of feels like Lindell Hakanpää again, where it's just they're decent on the PK together, but they really shouldn't be a pairing. Albeit, I don't know who else you can put with them. Maybe you put Harley with Ceci just because Harley can make up for some of the weaknesses of Ceci better than Lindell can, just because Lindell isn't Thomas Harley, right? Harley could maybe shelter some of the weaknesses Ceci has, and you could put Lindell and Labushkin together. I don't know if that's much better, but I don't know what they can mess with either. Bichel and Dumba, I've actually liked. I think they're probably the second best pairing on Dallas right now, outside of Harley and Labushkin. Bichel and Dumba, I think, have been excellent at points, and that's saying a lot. It's actually sort of telling how poor the Stars' defense is. That Bichel and Dumba, I think, have been rather stable for Dallas. I watch Bichel make play after play. And maybe I'm being blinded just because I like the new shiny big defenseman toy we have. But Bichel, I think, makes plays. Dumba, for that matter, he sticks up for Bichel. They seem to have a good rapport. They play physical. They play with an edge. I can take that. I can take that. They're going to have some moments, but I don't find them just getting worked constantly in their own zone. And I think they do an excellent job clearing out in front of their own net. That's really stood out to me about Bichel. His ability to just move pylons in front, make sure Otter or DeSmith can see shooting lanes. I think he's been excellent in that department. He provides almost one or two big hits a game, knocks somebody on their rear end. I'll take that. I'll take that over just standing around and looking out to lunch like a lot of times Lundell and Cece look like when they're together. So, yeah. I don't know what the answers are. And this is why I said yesterday too. I don't know if the problems are going away anytime soon. This is just who they are, and it's going to be infuriating to watch. And we're going to have to accept it and move on. And that's tough to swallow. It really is. But I still think they can be better. I hope they can be better. Otherwise, I'm in for a rude awakening. I'm not very thrilled or optimistic about what they can do, but I think they can be better. And maybe that's just me being naive. So we'll see if they turn things around tonight against Vancouver. Cross your fingers. Shooting star, let me know your vote coming up next in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Indeed. You just realized you needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored job posts. Put your post at the top of the page and help you reach right candidates faster. The key word is right candidates. Don't waste your time looking for candidates that don't match your job requirements. That's where Indeed comes in. They give you the right candidates, the resumes that match your job requirements, so you can get a handful that you can look at when the pressure's on, because every day you don't get someone, it can be a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the candidates, the right ones, right now. Now you can speed up that process as well with a $75 sponsored job credit. You've heard me talk about it. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now to support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. You need to hire Stars fans. Go ahead, use Indeed, $75 sponsored job credits. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need. Shooting star for Tuesday, April 8th, Stars versus the Canucks, as the Dallas Stars can clinch home ice tonight with a win in any fashion. They can also clinch if they get a point and the Avalanche lose to the Golden Knights in any fashion, or if the Avs lose to the Golden Knights in regulation. So there's a couple clinching scenarios, but let's just win tonight and close it up. We've said it before on the show. I don't know if home ice advantage really matters with Dallas because they haven't won game one of a series under Pete DeBoer. But to be fair, I think maybe this year it could be more important than ever just because Dallas is sort of going in shorthanded. And maybe this year it could just be a little more important. It may not change the outcome, but at least if you do make it to game 7, you'll be at home, right? So I think that could be important. But yes, a chance to clinch home ice. But that leads us to our shooting star decision for tonight. Who will I go with? Fed up. had a tough year. Maverick Bork. I don't know why. Going Maverick Bork. Give me Maverick Bork tonight. He's playing with Johnston, Ben. Give me Borky to have himself a good game. I think I know the point production isn't there with Bork this season, but the last 2 months I've really liked his game. And they need him to score a bit more, yes, but it's still his first season in the NHL. Maybe next year he's a breakout candidate, but I've really enjoyed his game this season. I think he's gotten better, and I believe the good things are right around the corner for Bork, and maybe that's next season. I think his game could translate well in the playoffs too. I think he just plays a real simple game. And I've mentioned how I like how he gets to the net. He gets to the front of the net. Like he's not afraid to go to those areas and try to stuff pucks home. I think he could have a really, really nice playoff run, and we'll sit back like, wow, he actually had a decent season. Didn't have the points that we were hoping or the expectations were, but he played a key role in maybe a Dallas win here or there, or even a series win. I think good things are coming from Bork. So I'm going to go with Maverick Bork tonight against Vancouver. That's will be my shooting star picks. Got a couple assists in his last 5 games. Let me know yours. Comments below. Of course, be sure to vote via the YouTube community tab. I apologize for a later episode today, or a later upload. Been pretty hectic here, the sleep schedule and everything. After a long weekend, we got playoffs this week, which is going to be a ton of fun. Ice Rays playing in a 3-game play-in series here this weekend against Colorado. So it'll be busy for me, but we'll have an episode back out tomorrow following tonight's game, of course, and we'll continue to churn them out as the rest of the week comes on. As always, thank you guys so much. The videos, the numbers have been fantastic. The comments, I love reading them. I appreciate all the feedback and all your opinions, since I think many of us are frustrated to say the least. So I love hearing your perspective, your opinions on the matter. I know I don't speak for everyone, and others have much better takes on some things, and there's a lot of things I read. I'm I didn't think about that, and I appreciate that. So continue to do that in the comments below. But have a great rest of your Tuesday. Stars fans, always appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let's continue to pump those numbers. Playoffs are right around the corner. See you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.